Quinn Miners got a massive payday right ahead of training camp. The rookies report today. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for July 17th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Behill.
Andrew Mason and Cecil Lammey got it right. They pre-recorded an episode back in June talking about how Quinn Miners could possibly become one of the next offensive linemen to make $20 million a year. And boom, 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 were they correct. The Denver Broncos are rewarding Quinn Miners by making him one of the highest paid guards in the National Football League. On the eve of training camp for the 2024 season, we got the news. According to multiple reports, Miner is staying in Denver on a giant 4-year, $80 million contract extension. Miners was selected in the third round of the 2021 NFL Draft out of Wisconsin Whitewater and is headed into the final season of his rookie deal. In 2023, Miners performed to an 83.7 overall grade from Pro Football Focus, the best of his career. And he is now tied for third most overall money by a lineman this season. Congratulations to the Belly, Quinn Miners. I know he doesn't really like the Belly nickname, but I feel like Broncos country has just surrounded him with love when it came to that. So congratulations, an awesome achievement. Hopefully we're just seeing those Pro Football Focus numbers go up and up and up. 83.7 is an overall great grade. So excited to see how he improves. And we look forward to seeing what Sean Payton is able to do with him this year. Now, speaking of Sean Payton, he is one of just 7 active head coaches with a Super Bowl ring. There's been some debate on the ranking amongst his peers on where he exactly fits. USA Today published a list last month that said Payton was 16th best coach in the NFL, and that turned some heads. But Colin Cowherd, a good friend, obviously, Mr. Sean Payton, puts him at number 4 on his list. Andy Reid, no shock right there, goes as number 1. Sean McVay goes at 2. John Harbaugh goes at number 3. And Mike Tomlin fitting in the list at number 5. Feel like this list is overall pretty dang right. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh couldn't be in it because he didn't coach in the NFL last year, and they're going off a lot of stats when it comes to that. But overall, I feel like this is pretty good. Payton did lead the Saints to a championship in 2009, and a lot of people were surprised that Payton was number 16 overall in that USA Today one. Well, like I said, Colin Cowherd dropping that list, having him at number 4 overall. He did take the Broncos to 5-12 when he arrived to 8-9 in 2023. So started at 5-12, came to 8-9. Hopefully they can advance that to a winning record this year. Maybe land themselves in a wild card spot. That'd be something else. Now, moving on now, because Caleb Williams, the first overall draft pick, officially signed his first round rookie contract on Tuesday. So sources claim Williams signed a 4-year deal worth $39.4 million with $25.5 million in a signing bonus. Here's the thing. Caleb Williams does not have an agent. So this money is fully going to him, and the contract is fully guaranteed and contains a 5th-year option in 2028. But how does that compare to Bo Nix? Obviously, Bo Nix was the 5th quarterback going off of the board, number 12 to the Denver Broncos. Well, Nix's contract with the Denver Broncos was reported to be a 4-year deal worth a fully guaranteed $18.61 million, which includes a $10.36 million signing bonus. Like all first-round picks when it comes to Caleb Williams, the deal includes an option for the 5th year as well. So 18.61 plus 10.36, you're looking roughly right around that 30 mark. Very, very close. And then obviously you see Caleb Williams, the $39.4 million and $25.5 million signing bonus. That's obviously skyrocketing it up to $65 million. So just the difference between going first and 12th is pretty big when it comes to the money stuff. We will move over to the Las Vegas Raiders now, staying in the NFL, because they are sharing the logo for their 65th anniversary season. The Roman numeral for 65, LXV, takes center stage on the logo. The LX represents the team's 60 years in Oakland and Los Angeles, and the V denotes the team's now 5 years in Las Vegas. The XV also represents the 15th Super Bowl, when then Oakland Raiders beat the Philadelphia Eagles 27-10 in January of 1981. I think this is actually pretty cool. The logo overall looks really good. And the fact that it all lined up the way that it did, with the 60 years that they had in Oakland and now the 5 years that they've had in Las Vegas, I think it looks really cool. And I know we're not all huge Raider fans out here, but I still think knowing the history and everything behind it as they celebrate this year is really, really exciting. We'll move over to a different AFC West team now, because the Chiefs receiver Rashid Rice is facing potential league discipline after a pair of off-field incidents this offseason, including his involvement in a high-speed car crash in Dallas. This comes to a lot of people One, who want to follow it, but two, because fantasy football drafts are going to be here before we know it. And people need to know, do they need to pick a different target for Patrick Mahomes? Because I'm pretty sure anybody who has Patrick Mahomes on their team is going to be looking to get some potential targets around him as well. Head coach Andy Reid said in his Tuesday press conference that the Chiefs have not yet heard from the league about a suspension. He told reporters, "Yeah, I don't know that. I haven't heard anything up to this point." Reid added the organization will let the people in charge handle that situation and go from there. So, like I said, I feel like for a lot of people, one, they just kind of want to know what's happening, but two, fantasy football will be here before we know it. So, seeing if you can draft him and get him on your team or how long a suspension would be at that point. Okay, on over to the NHL we go. Let's go. After 18 NHL seasons, Joe Pavelski is hanging up his skates. The Star Center made it official during an appearance on NHL Morning Skate on Tuesday. The announcement doesn't come as a surprise. Pavelski had hinted at retiring after the Stars were eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs in June. The 40-year-old began his career in 2007 with the Sharks and joined the Stars in 2019. His 74 playoff goals are the most by any American-born player. That's pretty dang cool. So congratulations to Joe on that one. A huge, huge honor for sure. 18 seasons in the NHL is no joke at all. And again, having the most goals by any American-born player is really, really cool as well. We'll move over now because Skip Bayless, this is kind of shocking to everybody, is reportedly leaving FS1's Undisputed. The New York Post reports his final show will be later this summer, but we all know ratings for Undisputed have been dropping since Shannon Sharpe's departure last summer to join ESPN's First Take, the show where Bayless made his name before jumping to Fox. But it's not clear where this leaves Undisputed, which has featured a rotating cast of panelists alongside Bayless. Bayless also signed a 4-year, $32 million contract with FS1 in 2021. Two things. I think the show is going to disappear. I also don't know where Skip Bayless is going to go. Feels like his name has been dragged through the mud so much that I just don't know which company is willing to bring him on. So I'm curious what's happening behind the scenes. But yeah, I think this might be the final time we see both Undisputed and Skip Bayless out there in the media for some time, at least for a while. So very interesting. Last one for you on this Wednesday. I feel like things just keep getting crazier and crazier when it comes to the MLB, but robot umpires could be making their MLB debut in next year's spring training. You heard me say that right. Robot umpires. So Commissioner Rob Manfred said Tuesday that MLB might test automated strike zone challenging in spring training and possibly implement it, for the regular season in 2026. The system has been used in AAA since last year. The challenge system would use live umpires, thank goodness, to make calls and allow players to challenge a call that they disagree with. I'm all for technology and stuff, but maybe let's not call them robot umpires. Let's just call it a different sort of being able to challenge system, because I hear robot umpires and I think like, I don't know, like in a cartoon where they've got a robot standing behind them or something like that. It just sounds weird. It kind of freaks me out. But if it's a different challenging system, I'm all for it, as long as we have real human umpires out there all the time. So totally in for it. But that's going to do it for our Wednesday show. Let's see. Ooh. Since Bolles is 32, would a 2-year extension be suitable / acceptable by him and the Broncos? That would employ him until 35. Okay. I like this question. I think this is actually a really good question. Garett Bolles could possibly be one of the most important players on this Denver Broncos team this year. One, leadership presence, everything that happens in the locker room. But two, just because of his age, this is already a really, really young team. So you need him out there, and you need him to be the Garett Bolles that he's grown into be. Not when we were all yelling, holding number 72. We don't need that Garett Bolles to return. And to be honest, I think he's grown out of that, which has been great. Would a 2-year extension be suitable? I don't see why not. I think 2 years is the max that you are doing for him. I think that means that his career is probably done after that extension would go through. I think we are going to see an extension for Garett Bolles sooner rather than later. So I'm kind of here for it. I think you have a solid player who ranks very nicely. Don't try and change too many things. So I would say yes, Garett Bolles' 2-year extension would be suitable / acceptable by him and the Broncos. And I think Garett Bolles knows that too. He's obviously talked about how he wants to be here. And again, finish out your career here. That's a good age to be able to say, call it a career. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Somebody said, I liked that game. Went to a minor league game and it went super fast. I do think we all want baseball to be a little bit more speedy. That's one of the hard things. There's a lot of downtime in baseball. So anything that can spice it up a little bit would be great. See, robots really, now this is getting a little out of hand. That's where I'm with you. Why are we saying robots? It again just makes me think of like, it makes me think almost of like the robot in SpongeBob, if you know what I'm talking about. It was like Mr. Krabs. Trey, the producer behind me, is laughing because he knows exactly what I am talking about. I wish we could pull up a picture, but that's what it makes me think of when we say robot umpires. Digital umps sounds a lot better. I like that. Okay, Rachel, watching your post, you seem pretty prepared for the upcoming wedding. What is the one thing you are most stressed about? Okay, well, thanks. I love how we're going to get just a little personal. What is the one thing that I am most stressed about? Just trying to make sure that I enjoy every single second of it because I know it's going to fly by. The next 3 months are going to be insane. Just a little like rundown for you guys. Training camp starts next week, which I cannot believe. Then I am having a like wedding shower, and then my fiance goes on his bachelor trip. On those times, we're doing preseason football games, which is also crazy. I'm going on my bachelorette trip. We come back. We have Broncos and in Seattle, which I would love to go to. So maybe fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. After that, we have the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Russell Wilson comes back to the Mile High City. Then I have a wedding as well as Broncos. And then it's the weekend before, and then I pretty much get married. So it's insane. The next 3 months are going to fly by. So I'm most stressed about just trying to make sure I enjoy every single second of this season of my life. So yeah, things are a little crazy right now for all of us, but I'm really excited. I'm excited for training camp. Rookies report today, which is really exciting. Bo Nix, it's his time to shine, baby. I'm full Bo Nix train. Let's get it going, and we'll see what ends up happening. But that is going to do it for me. Appreciate you guys so stinking much. Come hang out with me on Coffee Break, 12 p.m., and we will see you guys then. Bye, everybody.